Yeah. I know who it is. We are in the building. Man, oh man. I've been down for a minute, but I'm back.
With the
What's
jump
up,
off.
Hendo?
That,
Absolutely.
that's what's
Yeah.
up. Chilling. What's going on with you?
Not much, man. You like my tea, man?
Yeah, that's fire. What's that? Is that open mic with OTR?
Absolutely, man. OTR Mike, man. That's my guy, man. I know we talked about it already, but a couple weeks back, we had first annual um, meet and greet. It
Hmm.
was epic, man. Only beef with Mike right now is Mike. I need that hat, bro.
Nobody gets the hat.
I
He
need
got he
that
got to
hat.
he got to talk this plug and,
Mm,
and get pricing right. Like a lot of people are asking for the fitted, but it's just that the dude is right now charging a little bit too much. So when he get
mm.
that price, we all gonna get laced.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. And
What's up,
so
Dame?
shout out to OTR Mike, man. Shout out to Jose, Rodney, man. Set the tally, the whole clique, man. What's up, y'all? Anyway, man, because I've been out for a second, I felt like, man, we had to give him something. We had to just throw something out there real quick, man. And man, while I was home recuperating, man, with a lot of stuff on TV. That the 50th went down, old guns of material and stuff on there about the 50th.
Hmm.
I saw the Bismarcky documentary.
I didn't see that.
Man, yeah, man. We're gonna touch on it. We're gonna talk about it. Man. And I don't know what's going on with your boy in the infamous. Let's start with that. Melly Mel and Eminem, man.
Mm,
Melly Mel and Eminem. But before we get with that,
Pablo.
I want to say this to y'all. Hendo and I were talking, and we were discussing mental health. Now, mental health to me at this point has became a cliche. You know, it became the popular thing to talk about. But at this point, are we? Is it being effective? Is the awareness touching people in a way where we're getting help as a culture? I'm unsure. You get what I'm saying? And the reason I'm unsure is because I'm constantly, unfortunately, reminded of examples of these issues with health.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? I know it went all over the place, but I want to get to the meat and the bones, man. Eminem and Melly Mel. I'm dying to hear what you think, bro. When I sent you the diss track, man, I was chuckling the whole entire time. I
This like
stayed by my phone, man. I couldn't wait for you to answer back.
you know why you didn't get a response from me, Dre? You wanna know why you didn't get a response? Because I had
Why?
sent you that. I sent you that same thing earlier. I sent both of them to you at the same time. That's why I didn't say anything. Right. That shows me that you don't pay attention to what I send you.
Got you. Well, I know you love Melly Mel's verse. I know you did.
What? First, listen. I heard his first. I didn't even know what was going on. Somebody was talking about. Raven C was talking about it on Twitter. I think he knows I rock with Eminem. So
Mhm.
he sent it to me and was like, "Yo, what is this nonsense I just heard?" You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, "What's going on?" And I'm like, "Melly Mel beefing with Eminem. Why?" All right, let me hear what Melly Mel got to say. He's an OG. You respect your elders. And if,
Mhm.
if anything, I will say Eminem respects his elders. Like
Mhm.
he respects hip hop. He respects the culture. He respects the people that came before him. I don't know what's going on. Let me hear what Melly Mel got to say to find out what's going on.
Mhm.
Then I start playing it all here, hip hop up in the park, so back in the dark. I'm a book bag and I'm like, yo,
Ah, ah, God.
I'm like, is he rapping nursery rhymes to his grandkid or something? Like, I don't know what's going on because I didn't understand some of the stuff that he was saying. So I'm just like, yo, So I know sometimes hubris takes over us all. Like there's sometimes, even in some not so good times, you think that you're better than what you are. You know, sometimes I do a show, and after the show, I'm like, show was pretty good. You know, I think I did a pretty good show. In essence, not always did I do a pretty good show. But there has to become a time where Melly Mel actually listened to what he released and was like, he's gonna kill me. He's literally going to murder me unless he shows mercy. You know what I'm saying? Unless he shows me a little bit of mercy. But I'm just like, I don't understand. I don't even know what the beef is about, bro. And other than the fact, to me, and this is just my opinion, what I'm going off of, they don't like the fact that they have a white boy in rap that dominates. And they feel some kind of way. And we always have discussions about old school versus later generations as far as fiscally, how they get compensated. You know, the founders, they didn't make no money. Them dudes had full-time jobs.
Right.
Rappers nowadays can do a concert and be good for 5 years. I mean, do a tour and be good for 5 years. So it may be some animosity there. I don't know what it is. Do you know what it's about?
Yeah, and it's about that, bro. It's you know, because Eminem was so high up on the list. I want to say they did a top 100. Man, I think they biting off for us. I digress. But they did a top 100 MCs. No, I'm sorry. They did a top 50, I believe. 50 or 100. And Melly Mel was the second from the bottom. And we already know Eminem was at the top. You know what I mean? I want to say he might have been the fifth. Don't quote me on that. Y'all could do y'all homework.
I think he was like 5 or something, top 5.
Yeah. And he felt the way about that. Now I'm gonna say this, bro. Man, he ain't the only white rapper ever. You get what I'm saying?
Thanks.
You got plenty of white rappers. You know, so let's 86 that theory. Because if that was the fact, if it was about race, all of them would be at the top. And I don't even want to name anybody because I don't want no smoke. But outside of him, do you hear any of those other guys being named at a high regard? I mean, you got people like Rakim.
MC Search. Listen, Searchlight Productions. Like, yes, like Search, but as an MC Search wasn't the best. I mean, his publishing company, top notch. And it's not, I don't want to say that it's about white and black per se. It's kind of like, I don't want to give too much away because we may talk about this on another stream. But the conversation we had about what I tell you about naming this one, about calling somebody a fraud. I'm not gonna say who, I don't want to start no stuff, but the same way he said, I don't want to be on a track with a female because I don't want her outshining me. It's the same thing with you got a white rapper that's in the top 5, but you are located at the bottom. So it's like, how is it that you can be somebody that founded something? You're one of the ones that started it, helped mold it into what it is, and you let somebody outside of your race, your culture, dismantle you. And I guess he felt some kind of way about it. Like it's stupid because listen, if you're good, you're good. Like you have to know. But also, it's kind of like you in the 5th grade, right? You go down to the 3rd grade class and pick on the smallest person in there. You ain't talking about nobody else that may have been in that top 10. You ain't come at them. You came at this one. And to me, you went at the wrong one. Because this one will fire back. Respect me damned. This one will fire back. And his pen game is mean. His pen game is impeccable. So I don't think that that's something with your hippie. You don't want to bring that against what he's going to bring to. And I think M's response, he went kind of easy on him. Like, he ain't really come at him with nothing, but he still murdered him.
Yeah. I would agree, man. I mean, shout out to Melly Mel, man. Melly Mel is one of the reasons I fell in love with hip hop. Man, and speaking of that, bro, I've been dropping for the last week something every day.
Sometimes twice a day.
Sometimes twice a day. And y'all want to know who sparked that? My bro Hendo. Man, oh man. When he sent out that video, man, I was inspired, man. Man, we can't do the show without y'all. But I can't do this show without you, bro. And I appreciate all you do. Hey, we might got some goodies down the line. We talked about concepts and ideas, but we want to keep this clicking. We want to keep this going. So y'all subscribe to the channel. Check these videos out, man. The weekend is upon us. Binge watch it. I got a lot of material on here. Hey, we got material on ice, Hendo, and I know I'm putting you on the spot with this statement. Right. But forget dropping that material on here. Let's drop it on my Patreon. Because I think they sleeping on you, bro, on the Patreon.
Okay, look. Yes, we can listen. We can take all of that stuff, and even the concept of the next video that we were going to do. Mm-hmm. You know, that one that we haven't. That the one I gave you the paperwork on. We can do that for Patreon as well, but I can't put all of this on them. Can't put it all on them. You don't promote it. You don't promote it enough, to be quite honest with you.
Gotcha.
You don't quite. You listen. I'll talk to you offline about this. But I got some thoughts, but you can't blame them. Gotcha. You don't talk about it that much.
Gotcha.
But we'll build that up though.
Oh, no doubt. And what you saying that Patreon, Mr. Galloway, man, Dame, you out there, man? I might need to drop a verse and bless me with a beat. Maybe we need to, you know what I mean, come up with a hook. We want to get it out there. But I'm on Patreon, Mr. Galloway on Patreon. I digress. But man, speaking back to Eminem and Melly Mel,
right,
and tying it in with mental health, do you think our ego, you know what I mean? Because to me, I'm not going to say that that's a mental health issue, but mentally, we need to gauge our ego. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? You know.
Yes, I mean, listen, it's all mental health. Like it's all one and the same. Like sometimes we try to separate certain things. We try to separate because we always want to take mental health and look at it in a negative connotation. We always want to look at the bad side of mental health. Mental health is the makeup of all of just your brain power, your neurons flowing, and all. So if you want to take this a step further, you know what I'm saying? Before I finish the statement, shout out to Dame, shout out Jose. I see you. Yolanda B, Big Reg, Mr. J the Six. Appreciate y'all dropping by. So if you want to take it to the crux and take it to the beginning of everything, we had these conversations. I know you tired of me saying it. I know you don't listen to me. I know Big Reg is gonna love this one, but I've told you this before. Mental health. When we speak about mental health, right? We always want to talk about the aspect of having someone to talk to, having an outlet to kind of release some of your burdens so they don't build up and you don't explode. But the part that people don't talk about, that I talk about a lot, is I've told a lot of people this, is the aspect of the food that you eat. And if you know, I always talk to you about the food that you eat. Don't go look at Discord from what I put on there. I don't want y'all talking about that. But the food that you eat. So when you eat meat, I keep telling y'all, every time you eat meat or, you ingest dairy and all that, your capillaries, your blood vessels, they contract. They get tight, they get smaller. So if you're constantly eating a meat diet and certain things like that, now what happens is the blood flow to your brain is lacking. And the more meat you eat, the tighter it gets, the smaller they grow. The less blood flow and circulation you get to your brain, the less that your brain can operate. So if your brain is not operating at full capacity, now you're not always thinking clearly. Now sometimes you can't discern between what is reality and what is fantasy. So especially for us older people, if you have a little bit of downtime, because it happens to a lot of people, but especially if you're older, you got a little downtime, you're not doing as much, you're not active, you're not running the streets or doing so many things out there, you got to think sometimes just for no reason. You could be just laying in your bed or laying on the couch watching TV for a little bit too long, and your mind just starts to wander. And you just start thinking crazy stuff. And like, yo, where'd that come from? And if you're having these issues, yo, Mike, what's going on? If you're having these issues, you know what I'm saying, with that blood flow and that circulation, now you're sitting here laying, you're just laying for instance, you're laying in your den or whatever, kicking back, just thinking. And all of a sudden, You hear something on TV, oh, Eminem named top 5 MC of all time. Now your brain starts playing tricks on you. You start doing like in that Spider-Man with the Green Goblin. Now you start talking to yourself. You start seeing images of yourself like, oh, you started this. You started this. How is he better than you? You are the culture. So now you're building yourself up without even knowing it. You know what I'm saying? You're losing a little grip on reality. And it pushes you over the brink because ego is a powerful thing. It's a very powerful thing. Even if you don't want it to, things will affect you. Whether you want it to, you could be the most humble individual on earth, but certain things are going to affect your mannerisms. It's going to affect how you deal with certain situations. Now, if you're strong enough to overcome it, or if you're not strong enough, you succumb to it. This is when we start getting whack ass diss songs like Melly Mel out there. Because think about it, you cannot be mentally healthy. You cannot be mentally aware and put out bars like that.
Right.
And think to yourself. Then, more importantly than Melly Mel, your team got mental issues.
Right.
You listen, you can tell everybody here, Dre, if you put out a track like that and sent it to me to my phone, what would I tell you? Would I be like, yo, that's
you would be brutally honest.
I would let you have it.
Exactly.
Like, what drugs are you on? So his whole support system's lacking. For them to say, you know what, bro, that's hot. Put that out there. Get your name back out there. You know, because of course they say, you know what I'm saying, there's no such thing as bad publicity. You know what I mean? There is. And that was it.
Yeah. And I feel you with that, bro. You know, I speak on this too. I don't know why everybody want to be, and I know we spoke on it on shows back. So y'all check those shows out. I ain't gonna tell you which one, but everybody want to be number one. I feel like we're wired to feel that way. I feel like we're wired to feel like if you know, it's no runner-ups. You know what I mean? Even with the food. You know, I grew up. Milk does your body good. Man, tell me about it. Now I'm drinking almond milk. You know what I mean? But I grew up on milk, watching cartoons because they played them commercials to children. You get what I mean? So, you know, it's crazy. Speaking of watching TV, man, I watched the Biz documentary, man. I almost was in tears. And eventually I might do a little video going into detail about it. I don't want to elaborate on the actual show or the docuseries because I want people to watch it.
All right.
Everybody in the hip hop culture should watch it because it talks about health. And unfortunately, the late great Biz Markie succumbed to his health issues, but he has so much to give, so much love, so much talent. You know what I mean? So we have to be mindful.
Right.
Like Hendo say, of our health. You know what I mean? It takes me to a place where we talked about this too, bro. The Fife Dog situation. There's a lot of people, you know, that you know, unfortunately, passed away young from health scares and health crisis.
Yeah.
You know, so everybody out there, man, stay healthy, educate yourself. I know it's the cliche now. Yeah, you know, mental health. You know, everybody want to go to counseling and all that. It starts up here and then here. You know? So
people not going to counseling. People listen, it's a stigma, you know, that we place upon ourselves that, you know, especially as black men. And I think, I'm not sure, but I think Mike had an episode on this about being a strong black man, or just a strong male, but you know, for us strong black men, and just the persona that we have to uphold. And you know, for us, especially back when we grew up, that was being seen as being weak if you had to go talk to somebody about your problems. And I just think that, and I hate to say this, I just think that a lot of it stems from the black woman to an extent. Don't kill me, to an extent, because some black women, because when you showed that vulnerability, when you showed that, you know, you had a chink in your armor, it was always what you soft, what
Mm-hmm.
you, like, you know, it was always something negative put to it. So now we got to hold everything inside.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? The good, the bad, the ugly. We have to hold strong and just be like, all right, it's gonna be all right. I can't
Mm-hmm.
talk to my homeboy because I don't want him laughing at me or want him
Mm-hmm.
think I'm a sucker.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of things that we didn't do. Just even going to the doctors, just going to the
Mm-hmm.
hospital when we're ill, because we don't trust doctors. We as Black people, and I know that Mike, Jose, we've talked about this one. We don't trust doctors
Mm-hmm.
from the from Henrietta Lacks, just all the things that they've done to us throughout the years, using us as guinea pigs for experimentation. We don't trust doctors. So as a
Right.
culture, we don't go. And then
Mm-hmm.
when you bring into it the hip hop culture, who's supposed to be harder than the hardest,
Mm-hmm.
plus they're not making any money, and there's no
Right.
healthcare. There's no healthcare system, no
Mm-hmm.
healthcare plan for
Mm-hmm.
rappers, or there was
Yeah.
not at the time. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? There was no ass cap or anything like that that paid
Mm-hmm.
for a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
So what could they do? I can't afford. Listen, I'm touring 360 days a year just to
Mm-hmm.
pay my bills. I don't
Right.
have money to go to the hospital. I don't
Right.
have money for medication. I don't
Mm-hmm.
have money to eat. I don't have money to just stop and collect myself.
Mm-hmm.
So, a lot of them just did what they did. Like even I'm not sure if you watch, what is it? One of them Vine Network or something like that, the Dark Side of Wrestling.
I want to watch that. My son
Watch it.
loves wrestling. Okay.
Yeah. So what
Brandon.
happens is,
Yeah.
yeah. So what happens is, you know what I'm saying? They on a road so much, they don't get to eat healthy. So it's pretty much you city to city wrestling, doing your thing, and you eat where you can. You eat when
Mm-hmm.
you can. So of course it's gonna be some fast foods, some sodas, just a whole bunch of nonsense. But then the pain comes in, then the loneliness comes in. So what do? You turn to recreational drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Just give me certain things like that. Once that happens, now you're hooked because it's my daily routine. I perform, I do drugs, I eat. I
Mm-hmm.
perform, I do drugs, I eat.
Right.
Now what happens is through time and age, your body just can't handle this wear and tear anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You're older, you're still broke because then we're in a situation where hip hop is profitable. It's just not profitable for the old school.
Right. Right.
So now you're broken down. It's not like the NFL where they have a committee and they can go back and get the retirees,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying, the medical attention that they deserve. They don't do that in hip hop. So now what
Right.
do? I just got to live with it till I die. Uh,
Mm.
who was it? Was it G Dep?
G Dep.
Was it G Dep that Puffy could have did something about and just let that man live on the street?
Yeah. It was a couple guys that
Craig,
unfortunately had
Craig
sad
Mack.
stories.
Craig
You
Mack.
know. Yeah. I've said this to you. I've said this to you in hanging with Hendo, man. I
Mhm.
just don't have faith in people. I don't trust people. And I feel like everything is about ones and zeros. Man, I think it was Dame that told me other places in the world pay for health care.
Yes, listen, the so-called greatest nation on earth,
Mm-hmm.
we're so far behind. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you look at the education system. The education system in other countries, they do pay for people to go to school.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if you look at their jail systems, the recidivism rate is extremely low because depending upon your crime, like let's just say for instance, you try to feed your family, you got caught stealing
Mm-hmm.
times because your
Mm-hmm.
family needs to eat every day. So
Right.
you steal more than once. What they do is they don't have jail cells. They have like little dorm rooms
Mm-hmm.
where people are free to go in and out of. They have
Mm-hmm.
computers, they have beds,
Mm-hmm.
they have a whole system set up to help you get better. So now it's an instance of, hey Dre, why do you keep stealing? Man, I need to feed my family. I can't get a job. I tried to get a job. They's like, I don't hire felons.
Mm-hmm.
They help you get an education and they help you find a job to make sure you don't return to prison. We don't do that here.
Mm-hmm.
We have a school to prison pipeline that, like I said, with these privatized institutions, they have to have a mandatory number of inmates in their prison per year. So, of course, we got to just start arresting people, throwing them in jail. Because, of course, Victoria's Secret, um, IKEA, and a couple of others, they need to pay people 25 cents a day to make their products, or else they're not going to make any money. So, you know, we as a nation, it's all about greed. I don't know if I was telling you this. I think I was telling you this the other day. Even with taxes were only meant to be paid during the war. to help fund the
Most
war back in the 1800s. After that,
Yeah.
taxes were supposed to stop, but people kept
Mm.
paying taxes, so they kept charging taxes.
Mm.
And if you look up, there's no statute that says we are supposed to pay taxes.
Mm. Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we just, you know, a lot of stuff falls by the wayside over here. Not to say anything about America. America's, I guess, been great to us,
Mm.
but yeah,
It's room for improvement.
it is room for improvement. I mean, like
Yeah.
there should have been some kind of something put together for older hip hop heads,
Mm-hmm.
pioneers and founders to help them get housing. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Help them get some kind of some medication, just
Mm-hmm.
something to help them overall with general life.
Mm-hmm.
Being that we helped create this multi-billion-dollar industry that you told us
Facts.
was going away. You told us was a fad. It's gonna last 5 years. It's done. But
Mm-hmm.
yet and still, hip hop has made a lot of people rich.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
for the masses not to be able to for not to pool together their money and say, you know what, let's take care of these ones that can't take care of themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, let's be real about it. Even for the ones that know, it could be a tax write-off. Even if you wanted to go that route with it.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Buy a condominium, buy a community, like buy something,
Mm-hmm.
and just have them stay or whatever.
Yeah.
It could have been a tax write-off, but you know, everybody's so out for themselves, and that's another part of mental health. Like you said earlier, you got to be number one.
Mm-hmm.
And I told you this before. Somebody got to be comfortable with playing number two.
Absolutely.
We all can't be ones.
Right.
We'll
Right.
never succeed. We all try to be the lead man, the front man. We'll never
Mm-hmm.
succeed. Everybody has a part to play.
Right.
And when you can set ego aside and play your part, that's when everybody wins. And unfortunately, in the hip hop business, and most business in general, everybody's got to be the best.
Mm-hmm.
I don't got to be the best.
Right.
I just got to be profitable.
Absolutely.
My team just got to be profitable. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I don't want to be the face. I don't want to be face fronting.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be the dude in the back that don't nobody know.
Right.
Getting that money.
Right.
Like some people are. But some people need it. Melly Mel, he needs to be in the news. He needs to have that notoriety. He needs to be out in the public, have his name spoke or something. Like, yo, be glad they put you in the top 50. Because honestly, I probably right now could go 50 rappers that are greater than him.
Mm-hmm.
To be quite honest with you. So for them to even put you in the 50.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Well, man, another great one. Got any parting words, bro?
Yes, I do. Listen, I know you heard my man say it earlier. Make sure you sign up to his Patreon. We got some good stuff coming down the line. We're revamping everything. You know, we need input. Like if there's certain things that you want, certain things that you need for us to do, we're gonna do them. We're gonna find some things out ourselves. Like we may, don't hold me, don't listen. I know sometimes I say things and I may say possibly may, could happen, and then people will say, yo, what happened to this? And I said I didn't say that it was. Listen to the wording, listen to the phrase, listen to how I phrase things. There could possibly be a spot in the Patreon where there are room for ciphers. Now, you know, we would have to get with Dame.
Mm-hmm.
We would have to get with Dame and get some beats or whatever. You know what I mean? But you sign up to the Patreon. We get some guys in here trying to get their stuff out or whatever, and we can just start having weekly ciphers.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then that way you can collab with other guys.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody can spread their name out and everybody can grow. And Yolanda says more live streams. Well, you know what? You sign up to his Patreon, you may get more live streams. You may get patron only live streams, but you only know if you sign up to his Patreon. Patreon.com/MisterrGalloway, 2 R's.
Yes. Yes.
Double R, like Rough Riders. And
right,
yes,
right.
Big Reg. It's not backdoor wording, sir. It's actual wording. It's actual phraseology. If I say possibly, might be, there could be a time. You have to listen to these things. Now, if I say, yeah, we're going to do this, it's a lot different. So it's not like I'm backdooring anyone. It's just that you weren't paying attention. That's all I got to say.
Man, well said, well put. Man, just support your bro, man. I don't know how to follow that up, man. All I want to do is say thank you to everybody that support me. You know, speaking of mental health, I wasn't even going to touch on this, but I felt inspired to. I just had surgery done not too long ago. And I kept it all a secret, even from my bro. I went to the events. We did all this stuff with no idea of what was going on with me, right? And that I need to work on. You know what I mean? Because I felt like I had to be tough. You know what I mean? I'm out with my kids. My kids didn't even know. I didn't tell anybody. I kept it inside. And why? So it ain't cool to do, man. I'm going to change everything. I'm going to change the narrative. You know, I'm going to change the way I eat. You know, I want to be around. You know, I ain't as old as Hendo. So, you know, I want to at least do another, you know.
It's just factually correct because you're older. You don't want you don't want to start the book. Let me see.
Uh-oh.
We got hip hop in one hand, Dre in another. Oh no.
Oh man. Well, until next time, man. I hope all is well. Man, on top of that, get our merch. You see Hendo with the fire merch. I got OTR Mike's merch. Man,
yes,
we
sir.
got Sip the Tally merch. Man, we got
LBHT, Ring Kings
LBHT.
Boxing.
We got all
Big
the
Reg.
merch. Big Reg.
I'm waiting for Bazel to update his store, but I'm not pushing Bazel stuff till he update that store.
Man, Bazel, holla at your bros, man. Let me get a signature line on there. You know how I do. Let me get a signature shirt or something. Let's do a collaboration. I'm putting it out there. So the ball is in your court. So, man, until next time, man, we are out.